folks. This is X with another.
The darkness continues.
On July 18th, 2012, 22-year-old Deshon Johnson was doing what he did every day, waiting for the bus on Broad Street on his way to work. But that day, Deshon was struck and killed as the bus pulled up. His mother has now lost her only child, and it happened 1 year to the day after she herself had been in a terrible car accident.
He had come home to help take care of her and to help provide for her. And this was a kid who did not think about himself. He thought of his mother first.
To this day, Deshon's family has no more information than they did the day he died, but they believe the bus jumped the curb. A grand jury voted not to indict the bus driver, but Deshon's family still does not know what evidence was presented to them. They were set to meet with a prosecutor's office Thursday and were hopeful to get some answers. But just as that meeting was about to begin, Deshon's mother became so emotionally distraught that she fainted. She received medical attention here at the courthouse and was taken to the hospital.
It's very difficult to sit there and watch because you want to offer some type of comfort and support to her, but there's only so much, we can't bring him back.
But what they will do is continue to fight for answers. Hamilton says that bus stop is extremely dangerous and it needs to change before there is another tragedy there.
The right-hand side of the bus jumps the curb every time.
In Newark, I'm Barb Consiglio, FiOS 1 News.
Open your mind.
Dark exodus. The protester. Dark exodus. Open your mind.
You know.
Yeah, X.
You know.
Dark exodus. You understand? Yeah, X. You understand? You understand? Yeah, X. Open your mind. Dark exodus. Dark exodus. Dark exodus. Dark exodus.
And peace, folks. And welcome back to another edition of the Proper Thought Series right here on the TPOT YouTube page. I'm your host, X, of course, but you knew that already. That's why your black asses are here. Special show tonight. Y'all know, because we do a lot of things here. And one of the things we do here is we talk about young folks that have been killed. We usually talk about the folks who've been killed by the police unjustly. We have their mom on, dad on, whoever to talk about it. But tonight is a little different. Tonight we're not talking about a police killing. We're actually talking about young Deshon Johnson tonight. And he was killed by a city transit bus. Yes. His mom is here tonight. Lady Naomi Johnson will be joining us momentarily to discuss this, man. And she's seeking justice for her son. And she's also seeking a change in legislation to keep this from happening again. And if it does happen, people can be held accountable for this. But first, y'all already know how we start the stream off. Always start the stream off with thanking you good folks for your likes, your shares, your views, your subs, and of course, your hard-earned pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, and 50-cent pieces, because I realize you don't have to do it, man. You don't have to show up to these damn streams all the time. You don't have to sub. You don't have to like. You don't have to share. And you definitely don't have to drop your hard-earned coins on this platform. But you good folks choose to do so, man. Night after night, week after week, stream after stream, you are here. All right? And I don't take you lightly, man. I never have, and I never will. I'm humbled, I'm honored, I'm appreciative, and I'm thankful for all of you good folks. The good folks who hang out there, and good folks who hang out in here. All right? All right. While we wait for Lady Naomi to come in, I might as well go ahead and share with you TPOT's programming notes. Yeah. Few programming notes, man, because we got a few shows coming down the pipe, and I need to share them with you while we wait for Lady Naomi. Tomorrow, Brother Amiri will be here, and he's doing, one of the TPOT challenges. Yeah, Brother Amiri will be here. And like I said, it's the Amiri challenge. Brother Amiri's going to come up here, man. He's going to lay down his precedent, lay down his talking points, and you will be able to come up here and challenge the brother. Yeah. He said it's not going to be any particular topic. It's going to be pretty general, pretty generic. So come on through tomorrow night, man, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Brother Amiri is back for the Amiri challenge. All right? All right. Then Wednesday, we coming right back at you with another installment of What About? Y'all know What About is a new series we started here. because y'all know we usually start a new series at the end of every year. And What About talks about some of the secrets we keep, man. And yeah, this week on What About, we will be talking about OLO, our lost ones. Yeah, that's right, our lost ones. Because as I always say, we're not that far from dysfunction. Some of our people, they smoke crack, some of the people we know, they get high and they drug addicts and all that kind of stuff. And then we have people related to us that's always in jail, always locked up, and also kind of foolishness. But they are folks, so what are we going to do about it? So this week's installment, or should I say next week's installment of What About, we'll be talking about our lost ones. So make sure you're here, man. 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, right here on the TPOT YouTube page. You Negroes know. But tonight, Lady Naomi Johnson is here. And she's going to be talking about this thing. She's going to be talking about her son, brother, Deshon Johnson, I should say, was killed at a bus stop, allegedly by a reckless bus driver. When I looked into this, man, and I saw the stats of how many people have been killed by buses in Jersey, man, it's unbelievable, man. It's a problem. I mean, those New Jersey bus stops are very, very dangerous. They're dangerous, man. They are. And something does need to be done about it. Maybe they need to redesign the bus stops. Maybe they need to retrain the bus drivers. But far too many people have been killed by buses, all right, in that neck of the woods. And Brother Deshon was one of those people. And surprisingly enough, the person who ran him over, or killed him, I should say, nothing's happened to them. And from what I understand, I know Lady Naomi can explain it better. This guy had a history of doing these kind of things, and history of driving reckless. And I believe after he killed Brother Deshon, he still was working and continued to drive reckless. We'll get more specific about it when Lady Naomi comes through. But that is the story that I know about. But like I said, man, I looked into, how many people get killed by these things, man. It is crazy. Shout out to Brother SKC. What's good with it, brother? I see you up there. Lady Nisa is here as well. What's good with it? Peace, Lady Nisa. Brother Supreme. Yeah, man, a lot of people have been killed by buses. All right? And most of them at the bus stop. The bus driver is either distracted, or, he may be drunk, or he's just a horrible driver. But many people have been killed by these city buses, man. It is a problem. It's a serious problem. What's good with it, brother? E. Taylor 704. I see you up there, brother. Yeah, I mean, it's a thing, man. You're not even safe at the bus stop. It's like, and when I read into Brother Deshon's case, man, the guy who did this, was known as a reckless driver. So how he continued to work afterwards, how he was working before Brother Deshon was killed, it's amazing, when you look into the guy's record. So, we're going to talk about this tonight, man. And, it seems, because like I said earlier, we usually get up here and we talk about, people who have been killed by the police, but not tonight. Tonight, we're talking about something a little different. And those of you who live in the New Jersey area or any metropolitan area, You know, if you're catching those city buses, you know, you might want to be extra careful. You might want to keep your head on a swivel, man, because many people have been killed. All right. I think upwards of 115 people per year. All right. Before Brother Deshon. And I don't think that it has descended any. You know, so it's dangerous out there, man. Just catching a bus is dangerous. All right. It's dangerous. Let me see what's going on here. I did send her the link. At least I think I did. Y'all know I'm old, so. I'm old. And if you're watching out there, Lady Naomi, please check your email. Please check your email. I'm going to resend the link. Just hit that link. They might want you to download the app, depending on whether or not you're going on your phone or not. So if you're watching, Lady Naomi, I just resent the link to you. I know when I was younger, right? 12, 13, we would catch buses, and stuff to the mall, when I couldn't convince the old man or my mom to take us, we would catch buses, to the mall. And where I grew up, the bus stops were, they were under like a small plastic gazebo, with benches in them, so you were about 3 feet away from the street. There was a gazebo there where you literally sat in, right? You sat in there and you waited for the bus to pull up. I know there's a few of them here that I see in my travels, but I also see bus stops where it's just a sign, and it says, bus stop on it, and it says whatever bus is coming. So those bus stops, there's nowhere for you to be, and you got to get out there and, you got to hail the bus. So you have to kind of be out towards the street, right? To, flag the bus down, let them know that you want to get on it, because if they don't see anybody out there, they're just going to go, right? So there is a bit of danger when you're standing out there and you're waiting for one of these things that doesn't have like a designated area for you to be in, for you to wait at. So there is a twinge of danger there. From what I understand, Brother Deshon, the bus jumped the curb. Okay? It jumped the curb. Okay. She says she's on her computer now. If you're watching, Lady Naomi, all you have to do is click that link. Just click it and it should bring you right in. If you're watching. Stream, y'all, is kind of funny at times. Yeah, just click that link and it'll bring you right in. I think she might be having some computer problems, y'all. We'll take this bus off and we'll put a picture of a young fella up there. Now, I'm not that familiar with Brother Deshon's case, per se. I think I heard of it. It's been a while. I know he got killed by the bus. I think it was in 2012. So it's been a while, but I think I had kind of heard of it because I was living in New York still in 2012. I didn't come down south until 2014, so I think I might have heard of it. I'm not sure. I somewhat familiar with it, not totally. Not totally. You know, not totally. What's good, brother Coffee? I see you up there, brother. Now, brother Coffee says Reno is kind of behind in time where the bus stop is in a dangerous blind spot and it would hit you. I think that's what's kind of going on in Jersey. From what I saw, brother Coffee, and what I read, there are some improvements that need to be made. Okay. Hold on. Lady Naomi says she did click the link. I don't know what's going on. Something's happening. Did you download the StreamYard app, Lady Naomi? She says she's watching. Well, how about this? I'm going to put the link in the chat, Lady Naomi. How about that? Nobody take this link. Let me know if you're in the chat or not, Lady Naomi. She says she's watching. Must be her first time using StreamYard. Okay, you say you're watching. What's good, brother Ralph? I see you up there, brother. I'm trying to get Lady Naomi in. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put it in the chat, Lady Naomi. Go ahead and hit the link. Only Lady Naomi take that link. No one else. That link is for Lady Naomi only. Do not click that link, because if you do, I am going to block your ass. Try to hit it from there, Lady Naomi, if you're listening. Take it from there, from the chat room. Might be easier. Okay. Go ahead and hit that link right from the chat, Lady Naomi. I don't know what's going on. We have some technical difficulties, y'all. But we're going to fix it. Okay. She's in there. Yeah, just click the link, Lady Naomi. Just click it and it should bring up a screen and say, do you want to join this here StreamYard? Okay, she says she clicked the link. And what's happening? Nothing? Is nothing happening? Okay. Will do. Will do. Just hold tight, everybody. We're having a few technical difficulties here. Trying to get Lady Naomi in here. She is here. Okay. She is here, good folk. I Need to get her in here because I want to let her tell the story. All right, there it is. Just sent it, Lady Naomi. It should be coming through in like 10 seconds. I sent it there to the email that you sent to me. Okay. Yeah, just hit that link that I just sent you. It should bring you right in. Ask you, do you want to join, etc., etc. See if we can get Lady Naomi in here, y'all. StreamYard is probably acting up. It's known to do that. Oh, there she is. I see you. I see you down there. There you are. Okay, without further ado. It's known to do that. Oh, there she is. I see you.
Hello.
Peace, Lady Naomi. Turn me off in the background. Turn me off in the background.
Turn it. What? Turn the volume down. You saying?
Yeah, just silence me in YouTube because we're getting an echo. Peace.
Oh, just silence.
Lady Naomi.
Okay.
Turn me off in the background.
Turn it. What? Turn the volume down. You saying?
Yeah,
Oh,
just silence me
mute.
in YouTube. Mute me in YouTube. That's all. Can you still hear me? Can you still? You just muted yourself though. Unmute yourself and mute me in YouTube. That's all.
Oh,
Mute
okay.
to YouTube. Mute
I
to
got
YouTube.
you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
I am.
Yeah, just mute YouTube. Mute it.
I got you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Just mute your YouTube. Yeah, just mute YouTube. Well, turn YouTube off. Turn YouTube off.
Got it.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Here we go. Peace.
Sorry.
Peace, Lady Naomi. I'm glad you are here. When I got your email the other day, I went and I looked. I looked at your son's case, and I was very disheartened with what I read. Because this dude, the dude who ran him over, has a history of doing this kind of stuff. So, well, I won't even go into it. You go ahead and tell your story. Let everybody know who you are and, who Brother Deshon was. And just let us know, and we'll go from there.
Well, first and foremost, I'd like to say thank you for having me on behalf of my son and myself. I greatly appreciate it, and I also greatly appreciate doing the research because there's a lot of wealth of information about what happened to my son. Because I make sure I kept it out there so everybody could know. Because where I live at, they meaning the prosecutor, the politician, mainly the governor, they all covered it up. And as I listened to you earlier, yes, there's a lot of lives are being killed in vain. And nothing is being done about it. However, with my son and how the story goes, as I heard you saying, and you was on point. My son, he was on his way going to work because his car was in the shop at the time. And so my son was there. I'm sorry if I'm pausing because it's still very painful.
Oh, no, take your time. Take your time.
And it's
You got
hurtful. And I'm trying not to cry, so I'm trying to hold my tears back. I don't know if you saw the video of Exxon gas station and you see all that, and the prosecutor, Essex County prosecutor, and Michael Tuza, the driver, the driver lawyer, they had fabricated saying my son was running in the street as you saw in the video. None of that had happened. Luckily, before it happened, I had a friend of mine told me to do my own investigation. He said, because I've been sitting on the bench, because he's a judge. He said, I've been sitting on a bench, and I'm going to tell you, all the truth is not going to come out, and they're not going to, they meaning the witness and everybody, not going to be upfront with the prosecutors and everything. But as you as the mother, they will tell you. So I did just that. So my son's best friend, mother, and I, we sat on our little crusade. I mean, it was heartful. It was painful. And we spoke to the people around there. And sure enough, they was very open. And as you see in the Exxon gas station video, I had the manager for Exxon gas station allowed me to record his statement. And he said, no, your son was not running. Your son was here at ample enough time. He went to Exxon gas station. So I meant to 7-Eleven, because next, if anybody who listening, if they know how New Jersey and Bloomfield is located on Broad Bay, there's a 7-Eleven next door. So my son went there, and on the videotape, we spoke to the guy from 7-Eleven. He was in the newspaper smiling. And so I spoke to him, the manager of the worker there, and he said, well, get your son's credit card statement, because he used his credit card. And on that credit card, I'm going to tell you what time he left. So I did that. And according to New Jersey Transit /coach, and the reason why I say /coach, because New Jersey Transit coach is a subcontract from New Jersey Transit. So the drivers was operating in New Jersey Transit, but he was working for Coach. And my son, he left 7-Eleven in ample enough time, because the public it's hard for me, said BUS, because what I went through. They had saying my son was running across the street. So on 7-Eleven, once I got the surveillance camera from 7-Eleven, well, the lawyer got it. It shows the time that my son left. And the public transportation was supposed to come at 10:47. My son left 7-Eleven at 10:30. Why he's running after the public transportation doesn't make sense. It didn't add up. The prosecutor never called me. When it first initially happened, Bloomfield Police Department called me, and they said to me, oh, I have a package for you. Package? What is a package? That's how you describe my child, a package? So I'm like, a package? So I'm thinking, did I lose anything? I say, I have my license. What are you talking about? You have my sister? And he like, oh, it's a package I have. I'm like, what is a package? Elaborate. I don't know what you mean by a package. So I said, do you have my son there? Oh, you got to come here. So I came down there. It's a call that a family, a mother, a father would never want to get. Never want to get. So what they told to me, that my son was in the accident, a bus accident. And it's hard for me to say that word. And so this is what I'm thinking. My son was on the public transportation and it collided into somebody. So this is what I'm thinking of, how an accident. Come and find out, because it was on the news. I don't know if you saw Channel 12 was talking about it. It was on news. It was 12. It was on file. So it was like in the newspaper. And all the local bloggers had it, local online newspaper bloggers. And it said that the guy hit my son. Okay. My son was at the stop, according to the witness, because I tracked them all down, the witness, and I spoke to each individual witness after the fact. It took me like 6 years or 7 years to get the witness, because they was trying, they meaning even the attorneys that I hired. The attorneys I hired, there was no help with my son, for my son. None. So they was like more so on the driver's side, the company side, because again, it's a lot of political corruption in New Jersey, especially dealing with New Jersey Transit, because New Jersey Transit is a state-run agency. And what they do, they subcontract these other buses. And Coach USA, if you did research and Google research, you see Coach USA is no good. So why would you put a subcontractor who has a lot of problem, and you already have your own problem with your drivers ending lives, then you're going to add another. So my son was at the stop, and according to the witness, she said that my son had flagged the driver to stop. The driver never stopped. And on the video on YouTube, you see the driver just sped, not stopping. So the attorney I had, I didn't know it was two public transportation going around the curb, because I didn't know, because I had the surveillance camera, but I couldn't get anybody to what's that? Oh, my thought pattern here, to converge it. So what I did, I said, okay, in 2019, something told me, get YouTube. See, can YouTube, because at the time, YouTube didn't have the capacity to do so. So I put it on YouTube, and lo and behold, YouTube converted the whole video. And as I'm looking at the video, I'm seeing two. The first public transportation was the slow one. And the attorney that I had took a video with his phone, went down to the gas station, because the manager did not give them the video, but he gave it to me. And the lawyer that I hired went down there and recorded the video, but he was recording the slow bus that went around the corner and said it was the driver. But as YouTube converted, and videos don't lie, it showed it was two. The first one was going slow, following the protocol, made a wide turn and was going slow. And that's the one they used. The second one was the driver who ended my son's life. And you see, he never stopped. He sped around the corner and, jumped the curb. My son, according to the witness, my son was there. And the driver had sped up. My son was still on the curb, because at the time it was the sidewalk was going through repair. And when you have like street repair, there should be like a police officer there. Because if you notice, when there's a lot of street repairs and sidewalk repairs, and they know it's detrimental to the pedestrian, they always have a police officer there. At this time, they did not at all. So, which is what it was the county fault as well, because you have construction going here. And according to the information I read, it was like that for 6 or 7 months. Soon what happened to my son? They hurry up and straighten up the color of the evidence. So again, I'm sorry, I'm flip back and forth. So the witness said my son was talking to another young man who was Hispanic. So when the driver passed through, he flagged him down. And so my son had went to the door where the public transportation at, the bus at. And he made it to the front door. The driver was speeding, was going slow. And then in BP is another gas station video showed that the driver had accelerated. And I was reading all these reports that the attorney that I had, because I fired that attorney, I went to like 4 different attorneys. And it shows, and I'm reading the court document that they submitted, saying the driver had accelerated. Because with the lawyer that I had, he did a 3D vision to show what happened. The driver was slowing down, and then when he saw my son at the front door, he accelerated, because my son made it to the front door before the driver had turned the corner. He banged. The driver never stopped, and the witness said she saw him right there. Next thing you know, you see the public transportation go up twice. He ran over my son 2 times. My son went under the public transportation, the bus, and he dragged my son 50 to 100 feet and stopped in a corner right there at the bridge on Bloom Bay. And the prosecutor, I don't know if you saw the video with the because I put that up there too, with the prosecutor telling the driver what you did, he didn't do anything wrong, like killing my son. So I'm listening to this corruption on this video at its best. Then you hear the transit lawyer saying to Wilson Remain, you have nothing to worry about. I know these people and they're going to take care of everything. take care of everything, so you don't have to worry about it. Whistle and May in the video, he gets up and demonstrate how he saw my son. And they said, shh, 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 you know, don't talk. Remember, you didn't see anyone. This is on the YouTube video. And I tell people, if I didn't have this video, people would think I'm making this up. This is why I put the video on YouTube, to expose the corruption that was going on. Because if these other family members don't know about it, at least they have my son. If they doing this to my son's case, how many other cases that they are doing this to? And what they do, they deem it as an accident. And they deem it, and they blame the victim. And so people are like, well, how you know he deliberately do it? I say, well, how you know he didn't? Are you in his mind? You don't know what that driver thinking. Then I find the information online that a person who was on the public transportation prior to it happened, he gave his statement. He said he witnessed that my son was getting off the public transportation. He was making sure he had everything in his pocket. You know how people get up and look on the seat and make sure they have everything? The driver was rushing him off. And my son said, hold up, I'm trying to make sure I have everything. And so one of the witnesses said they intervened, and this statement is online. Witness and said, why are you rushing this young man? He trying to make sure he have everything. And the driver said, mind your business. I'm just going with the witness say, which is online. And so my son like, why you got to disrespect me like that? And so the driver, of course, again, I can't, it's online. You can read verbatim what it said, because there's a complaint site for Coach USA. And if you just Google it, Deshon Johnson, you'll see the complaint when I'm referenced to. It's on New Jersey complaint site, and there's another complaint site that you can reference to if you want to. Anybody want to follow up and read exactly what I'm saying so you can see it verbatim. And so my son like, why you got to be disrespectful? And so one thing as another, and the driver said, according to the witness, what he said, the driver said to my son, you know what, I can end your life and I will still have my job. When I read this, I was just like taken back. I was taken back. I mean, reading it, really? And so that's how come people like, oh, well, how you know? When I show like some of the people and they read it or they see it online, they say, oh my gosh, you're not making it up. I said, why should I make something like this up? So I'm like, so you saying it's an accident? If it's an accident, allegedly what they say, the driver would not have sped up. You will make sure you wait a wide turn to avoid the curb, because you shouldn't be near a curb, because you know pedestrian could be standing at the curb. In New Jersey, I don't know, it's a curb radius, which is a federal law. When any vehicle, especially mainly big vehicles, they have to be away from the curb so they won't endanger pedestrians, cyclists. But that was not the case. The driver was up there, and lawyers from transit sat there and lied and said the driver made a wide turn. And he did not jump the curb. But on BP, it shows that it went up twice. So if my son got hit by the back wheel, so the front wheel went up, so that shows you he went up on the curb. If he didn't run over my son twice. They say he didn't run on the curb, but the video don't lie. You see the front wheel and the back wheel, and it matches one of the character witness statement. She said she felt it twice. She said she saw my son at the door, and next thing you know, he was gone. She was looking at the window. She said she was reading a book at one point. Then when she looked up, she saw my son, and she saw him made it to the door. The lie that the prosecutor told me that my son was using both palm and hand banging, impossible, because he was at 7-Eleven. He bought vitamin water and a sandwich. So with 7-Eleven, they don't have the wrist bag to put on it. They have the one that you clutch your hand to hold it. So how can he use two open palm hand if he has something in his hand? Makes no sense. And so the chief of prosecutors started stuttering. He's like, how you know? And I was being facetious. I said, you know, we can read now, because he was Caucasian. I was there. I said, you know, we can read now. I said, it's in the newspaper. Bloomfield Mayor made the statement. The content was on the scene. So how the heck you want to say my son used both open palm hand? You're lying. And I told him flat up, you're lying. And so the chief of prosecutor said, well, told another who was supposed to be the investigator person to talk and said, well, he didn't jump the curb. I said, yes, he did. I said, it's called law of gravity. If he was driving slow, my son would have been injured, not dead.
So why do you think that the cover up? I mean, what do you think is behind the cover up? Like, why are they trying to protect? Are they protecting this bus company? Because they're subcontracted through the state and the city, I'm assuming. So I guess in a sense, by covering this bus company, they're also covering their own asses as well, right?
Pretty much.
Is that okay? So you got city, local government trying to cover their own ass, and they're trying to make it seem like it was Deshon's fault that he got hit. Is that what's going on here?
Exactly.
But the video says otherwise, right?
Exactly.
The video says otherwise.
The video don't lie. That's why I put it up on YouTube. And I saw, and not only that, I write articles, and New Jersey Transit, or Coach USA Transit, they troll the internet, and they see my articles that I write to expose them, because when I write it, I put the evidence and they get it taken down. And how I know, because I wrote an article, and one of the editor on one of the site, Community News, that I wrote an article on about what happened, he emailed me and he said, oh, I got and I put that conversation online. He said that, oh yeah, I got a visitor from New Jersey Transit lawyer. And the New Jersey Transit lawyer had said to take the article down. He said, but I refuse. I mean, and people like, oh, well, did you get a lawsuit? Lawsuit is not justice. And I keep hearing people say that's monetary. To me, a lawsuit is like a band-aid to cover up, and they have you sign a gag order to hush you. Because why? They don't want the world to know the corruption. So if they gag you and you're not speaking about it, who will know? Everybody like, oh, it was an accident. So the attorney who I had was telling me, oh, okay. Like I said, I went through four attorneys. And see, what the thing is, when there's a lawsuit, they trying to sit here and blame the victim so they will pay out less. So they go like, oh, it's 50% of the victim's fault, not our fault. But as supposed to be trained professional, and I have the driving manual, the driver is more at fault because they've trained professionals. They know the law. They know the protocol when you're driving a big bus like that. You know, and so that's why they do with the 50-50. Oh, okay, so we're going to pay you $100,000, $200,000 because it was the victim's fault. And at the time, I didn't have all the evidence that I have now in my possession as we speak. You know, but I got it kept in a secret place. And so what I did, I've been putting the evidence slowly but surely up online. I said, because people needs to know. People needs to know. So they need to investigate their loved one. Because the prosecutor is not going to tell what happened. So, I mean, I don't know if you read about my son's friend who lived across the street named Krista Noble. Her life was taken first. And not knowing 5 months later, we lived in the same place. Not knowing 5 months later, my son's life is taken. And they cover up hers. And they blame her. Because they said her child ran up in the street, which is all fabrication. So it's pretty much trying to protect them, the company. And I wrote to the U.S. Attorney Senator to trying to get passed a law to hold the drivers accountable, because there's too many lives are taken in vain, and there's a lot of hush going on, a lot of political favors, a lot of nepotism, favoritism. All of that is going on to keep everybody quiet. and everybody knows everyone because they went to law school with someone or whatever. So it's like a whole pool of corruption going on in New Jersey. And it's sad. And no one's, again, I must reiterate, doing anything. I wrote to politicians trying to get a law changed. And Governor, what's his name, Menendez, I wrote to him. I met with his office, like, oh, you know, we're going to go to your local politician to help. Nia Gill didn't do anything. She blew me away. So later on, why do a year later, I see a law that Menendez had passed protecting the drivers. If any pedestrian or passenger threatened the drivers, they will go to jail. But yet these drivers end their lives, but nothing happened to them. They're not going to jail.
So they haven't changed any of these protocols over the past 9-8 years. Because I know your son was killed back in 2012, right? That was 2012.
Yeah.
So it's been 9 years, and they haven't changed the manual. They haven't changed the bus stops. I'm assuming they haven't changed the bus driver's protocol. They haven't changed anything.
They had redacted. When I got all the information, and what made me get all my son's final case, because the fourth lawyer that I went to, I'm like, this is like corruption after corruption. So I went to Al Sharpton organization to trying to get them involved. I mean, they did do a little something, but not a lot of something. But anyway, the paralegal and the lawyer, because they have this legal night out at the Justice, what's they call it, Justice House or something in New York. And they told me what to do. And I showed some of the evidence to the lawyer. And they like, well, we are New York lawyers, you know, it's sad. So what you need to do on all these attorneys who is part of it, you write a grievance against them. And I said, well, okay, I'll do just that. And there's, again, it's still going on. Nothing has changed. I do talk show. The Not Ill, I don't know if you saw that, the Not Ill talk show. Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello?
Go ahead. Keep talking. I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead. Got it.
Yeah. And so I have a talk show called the Not Illa Talk Show. And what I did, I had one of the guests come there for New Jersey Transit. He was the first chief of compliance of safety of New Jersey Transit, which is on YouTube. The interview that I did with him was on YouTube. And when I say he had opened up all the corruption about transit and what's going on and stuff he was saying, took me back, because transit, if a person's life is taken by Coach USA driver, transit would say, oh, that's not our fault. That's Coach. Coach like, oh, that's transit. Or the coach are like, oh, okay, we take the responsibility, because Coach USA, they was owned by a Scottish family. And now a firm in New Jersey had took them over. But they was owned by a Scottish family when it happened to my child. My only child. So according to the former chief of appliance, Todd Beretta, he says that Coach New Jersey Transit is still responsible for Coach USA. I said, oh, really? He said, yes, they are. But they're going to tell you they're not, but they are. And this was his position. And he was just telling everything about the corruption and what they did. They wound up firing him when Chris Christie was the governor, which they call him a whistleblower, because he told everything. And he was there. He like, I was hired for safety to correction action. He said, but I learned they really didn't want me to correct anything. They just want to look like and appear like everything was good, but it wasn't. So he said, I was telling the truth because it was too much going on. And they want to fire him. So now the new governor what he did, he sort of picked up the torch and still going after the guy. This is all online as well. So it's a serious epidemic of these lives being taken by New Jersey Transit bus, and these drivers is getting away. When I say with murder, they are literally getting away with murder.
Well, let's talk about the guy who was driving. His name is Wilson Romaine, I
Yes.
believe.
Yes.
Now, from what I understand, from what I read, all right, they sent him back to work, all right, and 2 months after this, he was in another accident, all right. Now, I read that the prosecutor let him walk free, never charged him for Deshon's death. They said you didn't know too much about the bus driver. You had to go through, investigate, and find out. I'm assuming that the bus company was kind of hiding him, not letting you have any information and all this kind of nonsense. But once you found out who he was, come to find out, I mean, this guy's been in quite a few wrecks and accidents, correct?
Yeah, you read right.
So
I also
go ahead.
put the deposition up there.
Mm-hmm.
And in the deposition, it tells more. And at the time of my son's case, New Jersey Transit was trying to get my son's case heard in another county. Because they said, because I got all the information online, and people know. I mean, come on, this is the internet. You can go to Bangor, Maine. People get on the internet and they're going to read it. So whether you've been in Essex County or Bergen County, it's still people going to know.
Yeah.
So they was trying to get it heard in another county, but the judge had declined. She said it happened in the Essex County. It stays in Essex County. And this is what New Jersey Transit, what they do. They sit here and cover up. I was on the news. I remember when I went to grand jury, they was going to close my son's case. But once I start going to the news and talking out, all of a sudden, miraculously, they said, we're going to take it to grand jury. And I have information on that. The attorney that I had, who, when it first happened, I had this attorney, George Saludo, come to find out he was a corrupt attorney. He got disbarred because he would represent a lot of celebrities, take their money and not do anything with it. So I don't know if you Google, my son was a hip hop artist.
Yes.
Under
Yes,
Sean
I saw
Cox
that.
Mason. Yes.
I saw
So
that.
he was a well-known underground hip hop artist. And so Gerald Saluti, those are the type of clients he liked to take, but he take their money. And so that's what he was doing with me. I give him the evidence. I was doing my own research. And when I did my own research, I would give him the evidence. He would never, because I spoke to the chief prosecutor who didn't know anything about my case, my son's case. So I gave it to him. And he like, I'm going to give it to it. What happened, what I did, when I felt they start lying to me, I recorded them. By law in New Jersey, you can do that as long as you're a part of the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And I did this, that, because lying, I'm going to record them. And I did that. And so